these little brats, aren't they? Brats. Champagne
Yes.
socialist brats. They've made an absolute fortune of this woman. This woman is a genius, an intellectual genius. And these little upstarts were given a little, a piece of action, and it's gone to their head, and now they're rolling around going, oh, look at me. I'm so politically correct. They drive me nuts, these people.
Harry Potter stars are yet again trying to shame and undermine JK Rowling for standing up for women's rights. But guess what? She ain't taking it anymore. After saying F you to those little brats, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, who certainly wouldn't have had a career, by the way, if it wasn't for her, and Emma Watson. Actually, I don't think any of them would have. They're not particularly talented, are they? After saying F you to all of them, there's now the director of Harry Potter getting involved. This is Chris Columbus, who has said that a Harry Potter reunion is never going to happen due to JK Rowling's transphobia. By the way, Hollywood press, it's not transphobia, it's standing up for women's rights. But this is what he told The Times. The filmmaker has previously expressed interest in a film adaptation of the Broadway play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, with the cast of the beloved franchise, but has since scrapped his plans because it got too complicated. It's never going to happen. It's gotten so complicated with all of the political stuff. Everyone in the cast has their own opinion, which is different from her opinion, which makes it impossible. Now, Columbus helmed 2001's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and 2002's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. He has previously publicly disagreed with JK Rowling, and he added, I haven't spoken to Miss Rowling, it's Mrs., by the way, in a decade or so I have no idea what's going on with her. As for the original cast, which includes Radcliffe, Grint, and Watson, the filmmaker, by contrast, and we know that this was a contrast that he purposefully made, said he is still quite close with them. I keep very close contact with Daniel Radcliffe, and I just spoke to him a few days ago. I still have a great relationship with all the kids in the cast. Rowling can't say the same, as the author previously stated she would not forgive those who have supported trans healthcare, including Harry Potter stars Grint, Watson, and Radcliffe. In response, the latter said, Rowling's comments made me really sad. Well, JK Rowling ain't holding back anymore. She posted in direct response to this new Harry Potter war. As another man who once worked with me declares himself saddened by my beliefs on gender and sex, I thought it might be useful to compile a list for handy reference. Which of the following do you imagine makes actors and directors who aren't involved with the HBO reboot of Harry Potter so miserable? Is it my belief that women and girls should have their own public changing rooms and bathrooms? That women should retain female-only rape crisis centres? That men don't belong in women's sport? That female prisoners shouldn't be incarcerated with violent men and male sex offenders? That women should remain a protected class in law because they have sex-specific needs and issues? That language should reflect reality rather than ideological jargon, especially in a medical context? That women shouldn't be harassed, persecuted, or fired for refusing to pretend humans can change sex? That women should not be threatened with violence and rape when they assert their rights? That freedom of speech and belief are essential to a pluralistic democratic society? That troubled minors, especially those who are gay, autistic, and trauma experienced, should be given mental health support instead of irreversible surgeries and drug treatments on non-existent evidence of benefit? That gay people shouldn't be pressured to include the opposite sex in their dating pools, nor should they be smeared as genital fetishists when they don't? That cross-dressing heterosexual male fetishists aren't actually oppressed but having the time of their lives, piggybacking off gender identity ideology. That said ideology and the privileged blinkered fools pushing it because they suffer zero consequences themselves have done more damage to the political left's credibility than Farage and Trump could have achieved in a century. And then JK Rowling invoked her husband. Her husband, he's a mild-mannered guy. He's a doctor. I think he still works in the NHS. And he was clearly furious with Chris Columbus, the director, turning on JK Rowling because JK posted, my husband just marched into the kitchen to tell me he thinks the 1st of September should mark open season on these C words. And only people who know Neil can possibly grasp how funny that sounded. Big news! Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may. Orla Minihan and Bernie Spofford. Bernie, JK Rowling ain't taking this anymore. She doesn't care about these people who worked with her on the first incarnations of Harry Potter. She owns the rights to Harry Potter, so they can all do one because she's going to recreate the universe in HBO. And sure, some of these woke people might criticize her, but at the end of the day, they're still taking the Harry Potter coin. But what did you think of her response to Chris Columbus? Because she's going full throttled now. And
yeah, completely perfect. It was a completely perfect response. For a man to not stand up for a woman is very telling. Everything she said was entirely sensible. No one in their right mind could think anything she said was transphobic or hate crime. No one, but they will. And they'll all report her to the police. And the difference between JK Rowling and me or Orla or thousands of other women is that she can afford to say whatever she likes. Free speech is very expensive in this country. And she's another one like Elon. We need help. Keep talking, keep speaking, because you can, and they cannot shut you down. And to me, as a woman, what she is saying as a woman is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
For a man to almost belittle her and suggest that she is in the wrong is unacceptable to me completely.
Do you know what these people, I mean, they're like, what, these little brats, aren't they? Brats. Champagne socialist brats. You know, they've made an absolute fortune of this woman. This woman is a genius, you know, an intellectual genius. And these little upstarts were given a little, a piece of action, and it's gone to their head, and now they're rolling around going, oh, look at me, I'm so politically correct. They drive me nuts, these people. And you know what? She's so right, JK Rowling. She says it as it is. If you want to identify as a cabbage, then that's good for you. But don't expect me to talk to you and call you a cabbage, okay? You do what you want. But don't, put your nonsense and your rhetoric and your views on me. Go and live as you want to live. Good for you. Wear a dress, do what you want, say that you're this, that, and the other, and live your happy life. Good for you. But don't expect everybody else to go along with your nonsense. My sister's a midwife, and she had a training session about how she had to call it chest feeding, not breastfeeding, chest feeding.
Oh. But first, let's be honest, you're watching this because you know the mainstream media can't be trusted anymore. The so-called fact checkers, they're just part of the same corrupt club. And who can forget the scandals they helped cover up or spin? Brexit lies, the COVID chaos, the relentless smears against Donald Trump. Well, I've had enough of being misled. That's why I've turned to Ground News, today's sponsor. It's the one place I go to slice through the spin, cut out the noise, and finally see the truth for myself. Go to ground.news/outspoken to check it out for yourself. My favourite feature is the blind spot feed. It shows you which stories are blowing up on one side of politics but barely mentioned on the other, the clearest way to see media bias in action. So let me show you a story the left is ignoring. The terrorist mastermind of the 7/7 attacks could soon be back on London streets despite police fears. You'd think this would be a huge story everywhere, right? But left-leaning outlets have barely touched it. And what about on the right? Well, the UK Chancellor says the government is back in Scotland with billions in investment. It's a massive funding pledge, yet it's barely been covered by right-leaning media. With every story, Ground News shows you the entire spectrum of who's reporting from left, right, and centre, along with how reliable each source is and who owns each outlet. It's everything the corporate press doesn't want you to see. I know you love keeping up with the news, but like me, you don't buy what the legacy media are selling. So this gives you the tools for yourself to see what's really going on without the spin, without the manipulation, and without being told what to think. It's the only way I read the news now, and clearly many of you agree, as Ground News has over 10,000 1,000 5-star reviews. So go to ground.news/outspoken and stop letting the mainstream media decide the truth for you. If you subscribe through my link, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan. That's the one I personally use for unlimited access. Supporting Ground News also supports Outspoken, so thank you for helping me keep doing what I am doing here too. That's ground.news/outspoken. But now, back to the show.
Luckily, she's not like me, because I'd have walked out straight away and said, "Oh,
Me too.
do one," right? I mean,
Me too.
ridiculous. But this rhetoric, and the thing is, do you know what? The thing is with JK, she's got to a stage now where she's brave enough. She's always been brave, but I think much like the migrant situation, much like all of these other nonsense, things that have happened that we've been having to deal with over the last few years. So the COVID and the BLM and the trans and everything else that's happened. We've all been shut up and we've all been told, you be quiet, you toe the line, you do what we say, and don't you dare say anything against it. And it's got to a stage now, as we've been talking about, where people are saying, do you know what? No, I've had enough. I've had enough, because I am going to speak out. If you can all demand that you get your way, then we're going to demand that we get our way. And if, she's right, why should a little girl go into a changing room in wherever, a shopping centre, to try on a little pair of jeans and stand next to a man because he identifies as a woman? Good for you, mate. But do you know what? Don't put that nonsense on that little girl, because that is not on. And that's the thing. And JK is standing up for all of us, just like we're standing up for women, just like Bernie's standing up for women. And we're standing up for common sense mentality. This utter nonsense that we've all had to swallow for the last few years has just got to a stage where we're all saying, done.
Well, it's the tolerance thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's the whole line of tolerance. So we have to bend over backwards and be entirely tolerant to something that is not normal or ordinary. But our normal and ordinary views are considered bigoted.
Correct.
How did it get that twisted? It's unacceptable. And we have absolutely had enough.
Yeah.
Had enough.
Yeah,
agreed.
Absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, I think, and I love that you've called them brats, Orla. I mean, they are brats, because they clearly didn't read JK Rowling's essay when she first started talking about this, right? Because if they had, they would know that the reason that she started talking about this in the first place was because she was a victim of sexual assault.
Jumping on the bandwagon, Dan. They've gone, oh, it's trendy. It's trendy to be trans rights, and trendy to be all of this, that, and the other. They've grown up in the spotlight. They've been paid ludicrous amounts of money, with, as you said, with very little talent. Fine, good for them. But do you know what? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. She has given you everything that you are now loving. You're loving your life. You've got everything you needed. You've been given X amount of privilege because of that woman. And now you're turning around and slating her and making her life a misery. Shame on them. Honestly, I'll never watch a film with that stupid boy in it. And he's not. You know what? Let's be clear. They're not kids anymore. They're grown people.
Exactly. And they're growing up and they've been indoctrinated. But thank God for women like JK Rowling, and thank God for women like the two of you, because you are amazing. Orla Menihane, everything that you've done over the summer in Epeen has been just phenomenal. Please don't give up. I know it's going to be hard after what's happened with Sarah, but do not give up. Come back very soon, because I love everything that you are doing. And Bernie Spofford, one of our favourites, behind the incredible If This Is True channel on YouTube. Thank you too, Bernie. We'll see you very soon. Thank you. Lovely to see you again. And of course, we will reveal today's greatest British uni and Jackass in just one moment. But first, to your feedback, lots of it coming in today. Richard B says, Mr. Starmer, no matter who you lock up, no matter what truths you hide from us, I will never, ever like you. I will never trust you. I will never support you. And I will never vote for you. Richard, thank you, because that's pretty much what I was saying earlier. I just got so angry. Scotty John says, it is treason. We are watching actual treason being committed against the citizens of the UK. Mike the Stand says, the government has become the enemy of the people, with the police force working as their military. We are at war. Melandra Smith says, in regards to the arrest of Sarah White, this poor lady having her words twisted and being gaslit by the police, whose first duty is protect her as a British citizen. And from Dane Rogers, when you lose your country to the invaders, UK, don't come to the USA. We don't need rollover cowards here. No, very fair point, Dane. You absolutely don't. Okay, today's Greatest Britain and Union Jackass. A reminder of your Union Jackass nominees. Paloma Faith, nominated by KO's Bite, named by The Guardian as one of the UK's prominent women standing up for immigration. Bridget Phillipson, nominated by Real Mick Cass, because she signed off full of pride after a busy first day back at the Department for Education, as he says, morality compass completely broken here. And Ed Miliband, nominated by Toro Pane, for wind farms which are being built with the full knowledge that the bulk of their output cannot be used. Okay, to your results. In third position with 17%, Paloma Faith. The runner-up with 33% of the vote, the Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson. But today's Union Jackass with a whopping 50% of the vote, Ed Miliband. And your Greatest Britain, well, there could only be one choice today, nominated by Colin the Dar. It's Graham Linehan, arrested by 5 armed police at Heathrow for tweets. Really? I mean, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. The UK is a laughingstock today. But maybe this will draw some attention to the madness.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.